Day 2 at Roland Garros wrapped up, and the match that stood out for me was Osaka against Badosa. I never talked in great detail about Osaka on my channel, and I'm going to use this opportunity to do so. Osaka lost a heartbreaking match, 6-3 in the third, to Badosa. She had chances to win this one, and Osaka took a year off from tennis in 2023 and had a child, and she came back in 2024. And apart from making a final in Auckland this year and a couple of other quarterfinals, she's been losing a lot of matches and she's having a hard time to get back to the top of the game. Now, I'm gonna rewind the clock all the way back to Osaka's junior days. And some of you might not know that Osaka grew up in southeast Florida. She was hopping from one tennis academy in Broward and Palm Beach County to another. It's quite a saga, her junior career. There were newspaper articles written about it. I'm not telling you anything that's not public knowledge. And I was, of course, aware of Osaka because I was coaching a lot of high-level juniors back in those days. And I did not have the impression that Osaka would even be a successful tour player, and never mind being one of the best players in the world and a four-time Grand Slam champion. And even when Osaka started playing on tour and she broke into the top 100 after struggling on tour for quite a while, she wasn't a fast riser. It took her quite a while to get into the top 100, but even when she was in the top 100, the one impression that I had of Osaka was that she could hit the ball unbelievably hard, but control was an issue. Back in those days, she was making a tremendous amount of mistakes. But everything changed in 2018 because she became a global superstar when she won Indian Wells. Some of you guys might not remember that before Osaka won the US Open in that legendary match against Serena Williams in the final, that same year Osaka had won Indian Wells. Now, for you guys that do remember that match against Serena Williams, it was one of the most entertaining women's matches that I've ever seen. And one thing that stood out was not Osaka's errors because she wasn't missing as much. Her shots indeed had margin and they were very hard on top of that. And she basically overpowered the greatest player in WTA history and beat her in straight sets. Now, Osaka didn't stop there and continued to win one major per year for the next 3 years, giving her an overall slam count of 4, 2 Australian Opens and 2 US Opens. Now, logically, people believe that Osaka is having a hard time to get back to the top of the game after taking 2023 off. But if you look closely at Osaka's results, you will see that the drop-off started prior to her taking the time out. She won her last Grand Slam in 2021, and she reached the final of Miami in 2022. But in the very next tournament, which was Madrid, she started to perform poorly and could barely put together any wins. And as I already said, when Osaka came back last year, she continued to struggle. And one thing that's apparent and something that's interesting is that the control is not there anymore. Osaka at times can't play like she did in those 4 years where she was ranked in the top 5 in the world. She reached a career high ranking of number 1. She's still capable of playing tennis like that every now and then. For example, last year against Iga at Roland Garros, Osaka played a phenomenal match. And even today against Badosa, there were portions of this match where Osaka was playing incredible tennis. But often what we're seeing now are mistakes. And it's not only that, it's mistakes in the most crucial moments of the match. Some people in various comment sections are accusing Osaka of not being motivated, but I don't think that's true. I watched a lot of Osaka matches over the last 2 years, and Osaka is very much fighting. She got herself in great physical shape. She is top fit right now. And the fact that she is so disappointed after matches, maybe you caught her press conference today where she was crying. She very badly wants to get back to the top of the game, and she's very much motivated. What's happening with her is something that's very common and something that I've talked about in a lot of my videos. It's a lack of confidence, but it's a tad more complicated than that. because Osaka puts herself in a position to win matches, but then ends up losing. And some people might believe that when you play Iga very close on center court and come within points of beating her, that can build your confidence. That can be the case, but on the flip side, it can be absolutely devastating to lose a match like that, and it can have a very negative effect on future matches. And when there are a lot of matches that you lose that you should win, this has a horrible effect on your confidence. And let me just give you a few examples. In recent times, Osaka lost matches that she should have won. Even that straight set loss to Osorio in Indian Wells, Osaka had lost 43 break points to get back on serve in that second set against Bronzetti in Madrid. Another match that she should have won, she lost at 6-4 in the third. Now, after the tournament in Madrid, Osaka did something that I think was a phenomenal choice, and I think it's something that she should do more often. She went and played an ITF, a WTA 125 that she won on clay. She then went into Rome and actually won 3 matches in 3 tied sets, but then lost an absolute heartbreaker in the 4th round of Rome against Peyton Stern, 7-6 in the third. Then she goes on to Roland Garros and loses another heartbreaker to Badosa. Let me break this match down for you quickly, and after that I'll talk about whether Osaka can make it back to the top of the game. So she was very motivated to win this match, and by the way, her outfit from Nike was absolutely amazing. I am a huge Nike fan, if you guys haven't noticed. I've been buying Nike clothes since the Andre Agassi jeans shorts. I'm very loyal to the company, and it doesn't matter what you're going to write in the comments. I'm always going to be a Nike fan. But I got to tell you, the outfits from Yannick Sinner and Carlos Alcaraz at Roland Garros this year are absolutely horrendous. And some of the clothes that I recently bought from Nike, terrible quality. I bought a pair of shorts that are paper thin. It seems like the clothes keep getting worse. And most frustratingly so, shoes, which are very important to me because I have bad feet, they're getting so much worse. I've made several videos on Nike shoes, and I bought the latest pair of the Zoom Vapor 12s that I'm going to review in a future video. So it seems to me that whoever is designing the clothes for the men is not doing a good job, and whoever is designing the clothes for the women is doing a phenomenal job. But in any case, Osaka with her awesome outfit was on fire in the first set tiebreak, which she won 7-1. And inexplicably so, she went down 5-0 in the second set after winning the first set in a tiebreak. And she was playing well in the first set, and early in that second she had very low intensity, poor footwork, and was spraying a tremendous amount of balls. Now in the third set, Osaka was up a break early, 2-0. She then lost her serve. Badosa went up a break, but Osaka broke back, lost her serve again, and now it was 4-3 in the third. Badosa serving, and it was a very long game that frankly decided the match, where Osaka had a ton of chances to break back, and on one break point, Badosa hit a backhand in a long rally right on the line. So it was a little bit of bad luck for Osaka. Badosa ended up holding this game, and she won that third set 6-4. So the struggles for Osaka are not technical, because in 2018 I didn't see the same player that I saw from those few years earlier. There was a lot more margin on the Osaka ball, and she has some of the best ground strokes in the history of WTA tennis. Osaka also has a very solid serve. The issues are also not physical. That US Open final against Serena Williams, she was not only outplaying Serena Williams, she was also the better mover on that particular day. So Osaka is a phenomenal athlete capable of playing incredible defense. A lot of people are saying that these performances from Osaka are surface dependent. They're saying that Osaka doesn't know how to play on clay. And how do you get close to beating Iga in her prime last year if you can't play on clay? If you look at Iga's results at last year's Roland Garros, she was destroying everyone except Osaka. So Osaka absolutely does know how to play on clay. Yes, her best surface is hard court, but her results on clay should be a lot better than they have been in the last couple of years. Osaka's lackluster results, as I explained previously, are also not due to a lack of motivation, and they're also not due to a lack of work, because Osaka is in great shape right now. She's very fit. So what is it then? Well, it's her mental game that's letting her down. And as I already said, it's the lack of confidence. And how do you get confidence in the game of tennis? Well, you have to put some wins together, and most importantly, you got to win some of these tight matches that you're losing. That's how you build trust in your game, and that's how you build confidence. But more specifically, Osaka is suffering from some very common mental traps that a lot of players experience. And one example is that she let her foot off the gas after winning a tight first set, and she played the first few games of that second set with low intensity. And Badosa, who's a phenomenal clay court player, she sensed that and took advantage of it and ran away with a 5-0 lead. So down the road for Osaka, it's a matter of continuing to play tournaments, not taking a lot of breaks in between tournaments, because she needs wins. She can start taking breaks when she starts going deep in tournaments again. She needs confidence really badly, and on top of that, she needs to tighten up her mental game. See, a lot of these mental traps that players fall into, they are correctable, but it does take analysis and recognition that a player has fallen into a mental trap. That's the only way you can correct this and not let it happen in the following match. Can Osaka make it back to the top of the game? I think she can. She's only 27 years old. Once we get through that grass court season, we get back on the hard courts, which is the preferred surface for Osaka, if she can put together some good wins. It might not happen right away, but down the road, I do believe that Osaka can get back to at least the top 10 in the world.